Good morning and welcome to BIM Man's world. Today I am going to talk about what is BIM. In simple terms, I will explain this entire jargon that looks like a very complicated thing. What is this mumbo jumbo? BIM, 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 BIM. And if you go on LinkedIn and check just BIM, there'll be millions of people talking about BIM. And just I'll give you one pro tip before I begin to explain what is BIM. Just talk to them, start asking them what is BIM execution plan, and then from that discussion infer what is their understanding of BIM. Now I'll come back to the topic of today. What is BIM? I am not here to talk more jargons or fancy words. I'll take a couple of life examples to explain about what is BIM. I'll talk about examples of life, other professions, day-to-day things in simple words. So my first example for the day is navigation systems. Since last how many years are you all using Google Maps? Imagine you don't have Google Maps now. 10 years from now or 15 years from now or 20 years from now, traveling by road was point A to point B. It was simple. You'd start traveling from Delhi, you want to go to Jaipur. You start traveling from Jaipur, you want to go to your hometown. You start traveling from Mumbai, you want to go to Khandala, Lonavala. That was travel. Your cars were that technology. Your life was simple. Everybody's life was simple. So that time it was easy because you knew your routes, point A to point B. You were very sure, very aware how to reach from point A to point B. There was no surprise, there was nothing sudden, no help needed. You have traveled that road 10,000 times. Done. Come back to today's time. You want to go to Delhi to Jaipur, same route. The amount of complexity is added. Traffic, accidents, potholes, detours. You want to take a detour. Forget about diversions in the road. You want to take a detour. You are traveling with your family, and all of a sudden somebody from the car, like your wife or your kid, says that, "Hey, I want to go to this resort, or let's have pizza." You will need assistance for that. Now you have two options. Either you pull back your car in the side on the highway and wait for somebody, and patiently wait for somebody to come and tell you where is the next pizza place. Or you don't do that. I know nobody does that. Even I don't do that. What we do is we open Google Maps. We have already added point A to point B, and in there we click a button, add stop, and we add that. What is that act? That act is not Google Maps. That act is not adding a stop. That act is peace of mind. There is a change in program, there is a change in plan, and you have ability to change your route accordingly. So it's peace of mind. You have an informed decision in your hand. How much more time you will take, how much more kilometers you will have to drive. So this is one example. Navigation. Second example is profession. I'll give you an example of mechanical engineers, because I started with navigation and cars. So your car that you are driving, whichever it can be, I'm sure you know that there were a couple of prototypes of that car before that car reached to your hand. Imagine a situation, there was no prototype. There was no testing done. How car behaves in terms of, road friction, how car behaves in terms of wind friction, how car behaves in terms of, when it reaches a certain speed, how is the stability. All those things were tested, on a demo piece. That's called prototype. Then crash test. It's done on prototype. Nobody wants real life people to sit in a real life car and do the crash test. No, it's done on prototype. So mechanical engineers and automobile engineers can have a prototype. Now I have another example. So I gave you example of navigation in your car, and then your car, how it is made. So that is done. Now let me give you third example. The third example is about law, in courts, when they appear for a case, I have a couple of law practitioners in my family. I have seen them closely. If it is an important case where higher stakes are involved or somebody's life or death situation is involved, what they do is they do mock-up. In a room, they set up a mock-up trial and they do mock-up trials amongst themselves. One person is taking the opposite seat, one person is trying to defend, one person is trying to append. This is again a prototype. Now, with these three examples, let's come to AEC industry. Can we create a bridge as its prototype and test will it fall or not? Can we create a building and test how it will operate, what will be the maintenance cost, will it work or not? While construction, if there is a clash, if your plumbing pipe is going to puncture your beam or not, all those things. Will we be able to create prototype ever in real life like other professionals that I talked about? No, we can't, because we are dealing with one of the rarest and costliest stream, one of the rarest and costliest resource, that is land and material. Now, to have proper control over our AEC projects, what we can do then? We can have a digital prototype. We can have a virtually built building before we actually build it. Virtual building. And that's the original term for BIM. BIM is a very new term relatively. I learned virtual building software in the year 2002. So it's the same thing. I mean, virtual building was then, because of various marketing reasons, the term BIM came into existence. The real term was virtual building. And the point was, you build virtually before you build actually. That means you are doing a digital prototype of your built form using your computer. That is BIM. Build virtually. If I explain the term BIM to you, it is building model with information. That I is important. That information brings in important aspects about operating, building and designing your building. So if you switch to BIM, what you can do good or better is you can control your project. Like the example of navigation, like the example of your mock trials, like the example of your prototype. So it's your digital prototype of your built form. That is BIM. In a nutshell, BIM is technology, virtual building is a technology and philosophy to work on computers in such a way that your 2D, 3D, quantities, information, everything is in one file. The benefit of this is one change, one design change, how it impacts your other drawings, your 3D, your overall building outlook and your cost also can be traced, tracked and managed. So it is, if I give you example again from where I started, if you are on BIM, it is like having Google Maps on your phone while you're going off-roading, because designing and executing building is a bit like off-roading. You don't know. Sometimes you face a situation which you have never probably visualized that this will come from site. Another big benefit of BIM is after completion of the project, your BIM model submitted to your clients or your end user on a handheld device like iPad or phone helps them to manage and maintain the building. Imagine a situation, you are living in a high rise and and there is a leakage. You don't know where the PRV is. You don't know how many bands are going in your duct. You don't know what is under your sunk slab. But you can open the drawings and try to just feel that okay, probably here is the band, here is the PRV. There are set of drawings you will have to follow. But imagine that as a residence you have iPad in your hand and your flat and then all the connecting lines. Forget about the services provider guy. You can identify yourself what is wrong, where is wrong. This is the biggest benefit of BIM. It's not only about design and build. It's design, build, operate, manage. That is BIM benefit. Stay tuned. I am going to talk more about BIM benefits in my next videos. Thank you all. Like, subscribe, follow our BIM Man YouTube channel. Bye bye.